Yes, so my beautiful people waiting to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I am Aminu Jibril, aka JB Aboki, and we are back again at the African Fighters Podcast. No, that's not my catchphrase. My catchphrase is what's up, ladies and gentlemen? What's up, African Fight fans? It's JB here, back at it again with another episode of the African Fighters Podcast. Yes, that's my slogan. I forgot about that. Someone called me out on it that I should continue saying that. Yes, before I talk about myself too much, I am with the able and capable demoler of the Kingdoms podcast from live from London, England. How you doing, my brother Kingdoms?
I'm good, my brother. I complain. How are you doing today?
Omo, we thank God, we thank God. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a new sponsor. We have been sponsored by Prime. Prime
Prime hydration.
Prime Hydration Drink is a proud sponsor. So thank you. I'm going to say it until it happens. All right. Today, Sunday, 12th of May, episode 50 of the African Fighters Podcast. This should have been a special one because it's episode 50. We've been doing this consistently. In the past year, we probably only missed maybe 2 or 3 episodes. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 50 of the African Fighters Podcast. Very, very happy for that feat. And as usual, I beg, hit the like button. It's very important for us. I realized recently, the last time I said hit the like button, we got to up to like 11 likes. Yes, so today's goal is to get to 15 likes. Please hit the like button. We appreciate you. It's very free. It's just below there. Nobody's going to charge you. Today, not very packed episode, but it's very African centric. Brave CF Africa, Brave CF 82 happened. This happened yesterday from Mauritius in Africa. The 4th time Brave are coming to Africa, and incredible events. They had an amateur event before the pro, and it was a short event in that nature. When it comes to amount of fights, there were only 4 fights in the card because one of the fight fell off. Kubanza's fight. Kubanza is a guy from Congo with knockout power, something of like Francis Ngannou's second coming, but he even unfortunately couldn't make the fight. It was called off. I'm not sure what the story is, if it was him or his opponent that dropped off, but yeah, that fight didn't happen. We were meant to see 5 fights, but we ended up seeing 4. In the general scale of things, if you look at the event as a Africa versus all, Africa won 2 fights and the rest of the world won 2 fights.
Draw.
Yeah, it's a draw. I know that Kingdoms was very busy to watch it, but he got to see the main event, which it was fantastic. Great to see. If you missed the event before we get into it, you can go ahead. It's on YouTube. It's free on YouTube. I don't know which countries it's free for, but for me here in the UK, it's free for me to see it on YouTube. But you could go on YouTube and search Brave CF. You would see it there. Brave CF 82. Amazing production. That's one thing that Brave has been good at. I think Brave is one of the MMA promotions that started having referees wear cameras in the cage, which gives a different dynamic or different aspect to what viewability to fights, like see it up and close from the point of view of the referee. So with that being said, amazing. We are going to start from the lows, or should we start from the highs? You know what? Let's talk about the main event.
Quick one. We can actually drop the link on the community page of on YouTube, just so
Yeah.
and see it easily.
Yeah. We can do that. In the bio. Let's talk about the main event. Oh, we're going to talk about Themba Gorimbo as well. There's PFL MENA that happened. Didn't really watch it, but we can talk about the talking points coming out of there. Please feel free to join our Patreon. As you know, we do this from out of our pocket. We pay for StreamYard, and it would be nice for you to just drop us maybe like, something that we can buy coffee with. in there so we can get to pay StreamYard for it. But it's fine. It's fine if you cannot. Thank you very much. All right. So the main event, uh, Nkosi Ndebele versus Shorty Torres. The whole card was built upon these two guys having a trilogy. The trilogy fight is one of its kind. Never has happened before in the sense that first fight happened in South America, second fight happening in Asia, and the third fight happening in Africa. So three different continents for this trilogy fight. It's the first trilogy fight for Brave itself. It's one of those things where if you don't know Brave is a promotion that was instrumental in the careers of people like Ilia Topuria, like Khabib Nurmagomedov, like Islam Makhachev, like Francis Ngannou earlier in his MMA career. So it's a global promotion and it has been paving ways for like fighters to eventually go to bigger things. If you ask me from a business model point of view, I don't know how they feel about that. Like when a fighter becomes so good, the UFC picks them up and that's it for them. So, but well, in the real world, the people always strive to get to the biggest position they can, and in MMA, the biggest position to get as a fighter is the UFC. So I don't really blame the fighters. It's just that the promotion cannot get to keep stars, but Nkosi Ndebele from South Africa is a fighter that is homegrown. Homegrown meaning he made his pro debut on Brave CF card the first time they went to South Africa, and then he kept on fighting until he became a contender for the bantamweight title and ended up winning the title and defending the title. All his pro fights under his belt are under Brave. And we had the president, me and Farouk had an interview with the president sometime last week, and he did mention that they pay their fighters very well. I wouldn't be surprised because the owner of the promotion is the crown prince of Bahrain. So we're talking Bahrain money. Here's a nugget of fact for you. I don't know if it has changed, but 2 years ago, I know that the strongest currency in the world when it comes to value is the Bahrain currency. I don't know the name of the currency, but if you have Bahrain currency, one Bahrain currency is bigger than any other currency in the world. So a million Bahrain currency is life-changing money. Not that I'm saying the fighters are getting a million, but this is a financial fact that I'm sure this accountant here did not even know about. Did you know about it?
About the Bahrain currency, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, so now you do know about it. Oil money is
Yes,
talking.
yeah,
Yeah. Main event Nkosi Ndebele trilogy fight. If you haven't seen this fight, go out of your way to go see it. It was an incredible burn burner. It was 5 rounds of exciting exchange. Ndebele won it unanimously. But I'm going to throw it to you because I want you to talk more about the main event, and then I'll talk about the rest of the card because I saw it more than you did. But what did you see in the main event? What were your thoughts about it?
wow, the main event. First off, I'll say give everything it should have given, right? Um, it was a fantastic trilogy. So it's well balanced, right? Not the kind of trilogies like you said before we had the cameras on, like the trilogy of Max Holloway versus Vogue, right? That was just a one-sided trilogy. But interestingly, that fight brought me memories of Kevin Gastelum versus Israel Adesanya. So Shorty Torres was, that short guy for his
He used to be a flyweight, just so you know, but
yeah,
continue.
like the size difference was so marked. It was so significant, right? So he looked more like a flyweight in there fighting against a bantamweight, or he did well. He did well in that fight. So first round, I think it was more of Nkosi dominating by way of the striking, as well as the second round as well. However, when it came to the third round, it was this wrestler or grappler versus striker classic. So the grappling started holding up in the third and fourth round. So in the fifth round, it was more like who wanted more, who actually wants this fight more. But I can actually say that probably was it the first or the second round? You can make an argument for a 10-8 round there because Nkosi dropped Torres, right? He hit him with everything, including the kitchen sink. And I don't know how that guy was so stubborn as to keep being in that fight. I don't know if you saw that separate round, right? He dropped him, I think, with a knee, and then I thought this guy was knocked out, only for him to keep holding on to Nkosi in the clinch, right? But in the fifth round, I think Nkosi Ndebele actually made the defense really clear that he was the hunger fighter, he was a pressure fighter, and he pressured his way into that victory. So for me, it was arguably say 49 for the 6 or 48 for the 7 in favor of Nkosi Ndebele. Well deserved victory.
There's no doubt that that fight was exciting. If again, as I said, you should go see it. But now these raise questions, right? Because I did mention that fighters eventually go to the UFC after they've achieved everything they can in other promotions that is
Yeah,
not the UFC. Um, is this one of those cases where you think Indebele will be like, okay, I've achieved everything. Should I go to the UFC, or should he stay maybe and defend the title a couple of more times and see if he's actually levels above everybody? Because I have my reservations about who he should fight next, and I believe that's what's going to happen in Brave. There
brother.
is, yes.
I'm not going to lie to you. I had something in my head while I was watching that fight. I think right from the first round, in my head, I felt like Nkosi should be in the UFC, man. Like this guy's UFC material. No disrespect to Brave CF, right? You know, they're friends to the house, but I also saw that interview, you know, with the president, and I think he's really happy that you know Brave CF has been a tunnel for lower fighters, the likes of Khabib, you know, and so many other guys, right? To transition into the UFC. I think it is the right time, right? Having won the belt, having defended the belt, I think he has nothing else to prove at this point in his career than you know a transition into the UFC. I see him competing well with the top 15 in the bantamweight in the UFC.
All right, I'm going to jump in here. So there is the co-main that happened that you probably didn't see. Nicholas Hwende, he defeated Nazarov, I believe, from Tajikistan. Tajikistanis are sort of like Dagestanis, you know, they are typical Khabib when you think about them, grizzly bear type of wrestling,
Mountain wrestling.
and yes, chain wrestling, if you will. And now you can dub Hwende to be the Tajikistani killer because his last two fights now has been him defeating Tajikistanis. And if you watch this fight against Nazarov, he was grappling, he was threatening submissions against a Tajikistani fighter who was undefeated coming into that fight. And at the end, he grabbed the mic and did say he's in a bantamweight. And Hwende obviously is former EFC champion. And he made his jump to Brave. Now, right now in Brave, he's 2-1. His first loss in his career happened in Brave in his debut. But everybody has their eyes on Hwende versus Ndebele right now happening. Obviously, it's going to be a brother versus brother. It's an African thing. Honestly, I'm not very happy to see that, but this is a testimony to what Brave is doing with African athletes. Me being part of African fighters, this is something I should be proud of, right? To see an African versus African. The first time that UFC could have done an African versus African is Easy versus Dricus. But here in Brave, we have rightfully a number one contender that actually deserves a title shot and a deserving champion in Ndebele. So Hwende from Zimbabwe, Themba Gorimbo's brother. Honestly, when I saw that fight in the co-main, 3 rounds, 29-28, 29-27 for Hwende, it reminded me of a young Themba Gorimbo when Themba was coming up. Very good grappler. There was a lot of scrambles that was happening there. I think I would love to see that fight. If it's something of passing the baton before Ndebele leaves, I think that might be the fight. But if Ndebele beats Hwende, if Hwende beats Ndebele, I think Hwende will hold on to that title for a very long time because I can see that he is very, very well rounded. This is very exciting times. That's why I kind of like decided like on this episode we are going to spend some time and talk about Brave because they're doing a fantastic job with regards to our African fighters and what they intend to do in the continent of Africa. If you are watching this, you need to pay attention to what Brave is doing because fantastic stuff. Right now we've got about 6 people watching. Please hit the like button so we could get at least 10 likes today. Well, there were highs and there were lows in this event. The highs were obviously the co-main and the main Africa winning, Hwende winning, and Ndebele winning. The lows were we saw Lolia, undefeated Congolese, lose his invisibility. He's 3-0 coming into that fight, and he lost his fight against one of these Dagestani bred fighters. I can't remember his name. I don't have it here, unfortunately. Anyways, Prince Lolia lost by was that an arm triangle choke? It was one of those fights where Lolia, as you could see from the start, you know, we've seen it with Khabib a lot of times where you could see it from the body language of his opponent being scared to engage. Lolia didn't really land anything. He got wrapped up real quick, one takedown, and he got wrapped up. Wasn't nice to see, but we saw Ananias Mulumba. Ananias Mulumba, as you know, here at the African Fighters, we nominated him for African Prospect of the Year last year. We've seen his work, his body of work when he's fighting with AKO African Champion, African Knockout. And he's undefeated in African Knockout, by the way, in Nigeria. And this was his debut in a global promotion. He looked good in there. He was fighting a veteran. I'm sorry, I don't have my notes here. And he got a knock. He scored a knockdown, straight right. Scored a knockdown, but he wasn't able to capitalize. As I think this is a learning lesson for Ananias Mulumba, where he got guillotine choked, and it was something that he could avoid. I'm sure this is a big lesson for him. He will go back in his camp and sort it out. But he doesn't have to take too long to do that because June 7, Ananias Mulumba is going to come back again. He's going to fight in AKO 4 in Abuja, Nigeria. I'm sure whoever is fighting is going to feel the wrath, and he's going to try to get a victory and get back in the winning column. Something I noticed.
How come this guy is fighting multiple promotions?
When Mulumba fights in AKO, I believe he fights in the featherweight division, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And he looks very big in there. But here at Brave, he looked small against the veteran he was fighting. So now this raises questions about fighters cutting weight in Africa. Most fighters in Africa fight in their walk-around weight, the weight they walk around with, which if they go to global promotions where fighters actually pay attention in cutting weight, when they get in there, you'll see the big size difference. So that's one issue or something I'm scared for our fighters who are comfortable in fighting. You would see a welterweight fighting in middleweight. I think it's one of those things where they should probably start to learn how to like cut weight and fight in a lower weight class, because I know weight cut is not something that is fantastic, but there's a lot of arguments to scrap weight cutting, but I would still rather have them do that when they go to bigger promotions.
There's a lot of science. Actually, you need the proper nutrition.
Somebody is looking for Ebuka. Demola, where is Ebuka?
Ebuka is enjoying life.
Where is Ebuka at the moment?
Ebuka is enjoying life. Here he is.
Okay. Shout out to Ebuka. Ebuka only gets here when he's excited to talk about about MMA. But when he's not, we will not see his dust. All right, this episode is going to be short and sweet. We're not going to take too much time. I I didn't watch PFL MENA one, but I will just tell you about it. So PFL MENA one saw four North African fighters advance in the featherweight and bantamweight tournaments. Right, Algeria's Elias and Morocco's Rachid will face each other in the bantamweight semi-final, and Egypt's Islam Reda and Morocco's Maraoune will fight each other in the featherweight semi-finals. We are guaranteed to have an African in each final of the tournament in PFL in each bracket. I think that's something that's fantastic. Would love to see that. I know that a lot of people we've been criticized a bit for not showing enough love for the North Africans. We try as much as we can to cover everything, but MMA is very very wide. All right, let's talk about
Let me drop
predictions for.
something
Let's talk about
controversial.
yeah. Let's talk
But
about predictions for Themba Gorimbo, the Zimbabwean boy. Our boy Themba Gorimbo fighting next week.
our
It's
brother,
fight week for Themba starting tomorrow. And before we hopped on here, you were asking me, is Themba going to get a knockout in this fight, a first round knockout? What do you
that's
think his mindset is going into this event? I'm going to let you explain to me what you think, your thoughts about Themba fighting, and what's likely going to happen. Predictions.
okay. My prediction, right? I told you this guy he is fighting Rahimash, right? Rahimash. He has this alternating record right now. I think for like his past six fights, he's been alternating. I think 6 or 7 fights. He's been alternating wins and losses. And coincidentally, his last fight was a win. So it means this is the turn to have another loss. So that being said, right, I have this strong feeling that he's going to lose to Themba, right? However, what is in my head is what is going to be the method of victory, right? So for me, if I were to pick a method of victory, I'll pick another first round KO so that the hype train
Um,
will make it.
I feel I'm not doing justice in introducing this fight. So it's going to be in the main event for UFC Fight Night, obviously in Apex,
On the main
Barboza
card.
versus yeah, Edson Barboza versus Leron Murphy from the UK, undefeated Leron Murphy. Uh, Leron Murphy is looking to get a number to his name. And the co-main is Chaos Williams versus Carlston Harris. But here is what is exciting for us. This is Themba's debut in the main card. UFC have dubbed Themba enough to push him close to the main card. This is the trajectory that Themba has been talking about that he's going to get there. I saw Themba made a post on Instagram about how he's not taking this lightly, how grateful he is to see his name in the main card. I believe the machine is going to push this. I can't wait to see like that little story they tell before every fight with regards to Themba. And Themba getting a knockout here
It's going to be
is go-
massive,
is
massive, bro.
here is something that you guys don't know. I'm keeping scores. I'm keeping scores about the Africans in the UFC with winning streak. Themba is on a 2-fight winning streak, and he's tied number one with our boy David Onama on 2-fight win streak as well. Themba needs, if he wins this fight, he's gonna go to number one without being tied with anybody, as the only African in the UFC that is not the champion, obviously, in
Heartbreaking.
Dricus.
Yes.
Yeah, that is on a winning streak, up to 3 fights win streak, and I believe after that, main card. I know Themba wants to be. He said he's the king of the Apex, which obviously the Apex is the UFC's venue. What do you sorry, did you predict a knockout for Themba this time?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Another first round knockout because he's highly motivated right now. You saw his post on Instagram, right? And then he was like, I think the last time I spoke with him, but he was like, I'm working really hard on this one, right? So really, and trust me, when Themba tells you I'm working really hard on this, you should know he's dialed in his laptop. At some point, he was off social media for I think a couple of weeks, right? You know that he is really dialed in, working hard. And then this week he's been appreciating his teammates, his coaches. It looks like he's had a really fantastic fight camp, right? So He's going to get the job done. And right now, the UFC is actually pushing him in the way that he wants to. He's actually just the fight before the co-main event. So what else do you want? And after this one, he should be fighting ranked contenders. So it's just at the edge of where he wants to be.
One thing I must add, if you're not following us Instagram and Twitter, please do, because this is fight week for Themba, so we'll be dropping some original featured content for Themba on our Instagram and Twitter, so we can get people hyped up for the fight. Shout out to Themba. Themba is one of us here. I want to say he's a fan of the show, but no, Themba is one of the boys in the show. Astobi calls Themba borehole builder because of how selfless Themba is building boreholes. All right, all right, let's get it. What next are we going to talk about? Last night's UFC event. Oh, big shout out to Christopher Graham again. I did forget to put that plug in. He dropped some questions, which are this is what I'm going by today. The questions from Christopher Graham's, and he wanted to know our reactions to these things.
Shout out Christopher. How's the baby doing?
Yeah, how's the baby, Chris? I want to talk about something. Let's just talk about this. AKO African Knockout, Kamaru Usman's MMA promotion from Nigeria, have an event next month. Kamaru has been absent from the previous few events that they were doing in Nigeria. I don't know if he's going to be on this one. Is he going to be in Nigeria? I don't know, but I think it's high time he goes, mostly because Kamaru was just in Africa last week. As you know, a sad, unfortunate event happened to Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou lost his son. There isn't enough report about what happened how the son passed away, but he did lose his son, and there was a funeral for the son. And Kamaru Usman was next to Francis Ngannou. He went all the way to Cameroon. There were pictures that were dropped of both of them walking in the mountains and the bushes of Cameroon. Nice to see Kamaru Usman by Ngannou's side. I've said this before. It would be fantastic to have Francis Ngannou come over to Nigeria to visit one of Kamaru's events. I hope Kamaru goes to Abuja. To be honest, if Kamaru is going to be in Abuja, I myself will be there. And I would like to hand an invitation to you. If you come, I'm going to make sure that you sit in VIP. Okay?
Oh, wheels.
Yeah. June 7, Abuja Continental Hotel in Abuja. AK04. Main event is Daniel Emeka versus Flex Munier. Incredible main event, middleweight fight. Guaranteed not to get to the judges' scorecard as you love it, as you love your MMA served with finishes. And Abuja is your city, man. And you know that flights are not that expensive. It's only £600. So
Wheels, are you for real?
Yeah, look it up, man. Look it up, man. Look it up, man. Look it up. Yeah, if you would love to be there, be there. I think we are going to try as much as we can to cover that event, because in Brave CF Africa, we had the president, Mohammed Shahid, do an interview with us. And this time, AK04, we're going to try to have Kamaru Usman come on here. Do you want to be part of the interview with Usman?
Definitely. He's my brother, according to Themba.
What?
I said Usman is my brother.
Oh, yeah. I think what we might do is we might ask the community to drop questions that they want us to ask Kamaru Usman when he gets here. But I'm sure Kamaru would want to keep it to just AKO. But I guess we're gonna find out if he's gonna agree to do it, because Kamaru, it's high time. It's high time you show some love to us, because we've been showing you so much love. Again, if you are watching us live, please hit the like button. We would really, really appreciate that. I understand that the headline and the thumbnail might not be very exciting to see, but I promise you, Brave is worth watching. They're doing incredible things for us. Um, any other thing you want to talk about? Because I've run out of things to talk about.
Okay, so I'll just talk briefly about the what I said, the caption that Kamaru's man used in his post, on Instagram. It was quite inspiring. So
Mm-hmm.
whoever is watching us, whatever you're going through, he wrote something that was quite inspiring to me. He says, God reserves his toughest battles for his, toughest soldiers. So the toughest battles are always reserved for the toughest warriors. Regardless of whatever you're going through, you can actually scale through it. You've got the power inside of you. The toughest battles, you know, like they say, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. So keep going, and you would um, emerge victorious. That's from me to everyone out there.
All right, fantastic. I am here looking for talking points, but it seems like there isn't any going on the wall of Twitter. All right, I think 30 minutes is fine. We've got Jesse Dunaway. Oh, thank God. Brave is definitely doing a phenomenal job. They're putting their words into action. Absolutely. Brave, only global promotion to come to Africa 4 times. Once in Morocco, twice in South Africa, and made the debut in Mauritius last night. They also are looking to put, or they have already started, like MMA development in Mauritius. I think they're going to kind of like make Mauritius their home base for a bit. Actually, there's actually something else to talk about. Let's talk about brave president talking about coming to Nigeria. That's actually
Big one.
incredible news. I know that businesses out there when they think about Africa and capitalizing on African market, they look at Nigeria because I think we are like the China of Africa, right? Every global business would want to be affiliated to China. They want to have like some strong some
Presence,
footing,
yeah, some presence
some
of operations,
presence.
yeah.
Exactly, that's the word, presence. Some presence in China, be it in fashion or in sports or whatever. If you see, like for example, Nike, they have many athletes that are signature athletes that are signed with Nike. In NBA, for example, every season when the season is over, every top NBA athlete will go to China for a tour because they want to go sell their shoes. Because the amount of money they will make selling their shoes in China China alone is more than or equal to what they would sell in the world. So if I look at Africa, I look at it that way. Nigerian market has a lot of potential to grow. But as a Nigerian, I understand the challenges it takes to actually run businesses in Nigeria. You are also a businessman. You run businesses in Nigeria. I kind of like work closely with AKO, and I understand the challenges that they go through just to put an event in Nigeria. But like I think Brave, with the backing that they have, obviously the money from the Prince of Bahrain, I think if they will be able to cut their losses. When they were having their event in Mauritius last night, I saw like I couldn't count the amount of sponsors they had. So like if they have already sponsors on their cage like that, going to Nigeria, I think those those sponsors might cover the expenditure. Um, Speaking to the Brave president, he did also say that they are open to working with other MMA promotions. And right now, when he said that, I felt like a dream of mine should be AKO collaborating with Brave because AKO kind of understands the Nigerian market. That would be perfect for me because best of both worlds in that case. So, so Brave in Nigeria. I think I'm going to quote the president. He did say they are looking into coming to Nigeria in 2025. They did sign a broadcasting deal with Airtel TV in Nigeria. Airtel TV is one of the broadcast streamers in Nigeria. I think if you have an Airtel SIM card or Airtel phone number, you have a free access to that. I think that's how it works. According to Airtel TV, they have over 60 million subscribers or 60 million users. So that's a big platform. But would they actually... Brave yesterday from Mauritius got streamed on Airtel in Nigeria. And it's one thing to stream on Airtel TV. It's another thing to get people to actually watch it. I hope they actually did. because again we know what internet and streaming is. Streaming culture in Nigeria is not very good, to be
Nigeria,
honest.
the
Yeah,
data.
but for the fighters in Nigeria, I think this is a great opportunity for them to get the Brave payday, because Brave pays very nicely. It's very different from what they get there. When we made the post on our Instagram, half of the comments that we got were from Nigerian fighters. Fighters in Nigeria are like, great, I love this. We know what that means for them, because like if they get on Brave and fight on Brave, that's going to up their chances in visa applications to actually leave the country as well and go somewhere. So, very, very excited about that. I cannot wait for that to happen. Brave CF happen in Nigeria. That would be very, very fantastic to see. What are your thoughts about that?
Of course, definitely, it's going to be really fantastic. I don't think getting sponsors right for Nigeria is very much of an issue, but the problem is the bureaucracy. With the Nigerian government getting the necessary licenses. There are a lot of these international global organizations, right, do not like to be involved in paying kickback, but we know what happens back home. Sometimes government authorities will frustrate you, government agencies will frustrate you, will not give you the necessary licenses in order for you to operate if you do not get certain things done. So I hope they're able to break the bottlenecks and have that good impact in Nigeria. That's just my prayer for them.
Yeah, so the reason why we knew about this was because when I was interviewing Mohammed Shahid, president of Brave CF, I looked at the card in Mauritius and I did not see a single Nigerian flag. I was like, yo, dude, what's up with this? How come there is no Nigerian on your card? Then he started explaining about going to Nigeria, the infrastructure, putting in the work, and the conversations that they are having. And here's a nugget. Brave has collaborated with AKO in the past, and I'll remind you of it. AKO
Wow.
started as a reality TV show for MMA. So the first season that they did, that is currently on Netflix, was actually in collaboration with Brave. One of
Wow.
the the things that the winner would win, like if you win the whole thing, the winner of the tournament or the winner of the reality show, was to get a contract with Brave. And now Ndidi alone who did win it, but did he get the contract? I actually don't know. Something probably happened, but Ndidi did win that. I'm not sure. I don't think we had Ndidi fighting in Brave, but that's the collaboration that the president was talking about. Yeah, I would love to see a collaboration again. Hopefully, this
You can
works
make
out
that
this time.
happen. You can be the connecting dots.
Honestly, if I speak to the people running AKO anytime I speak to them, or I should say the next time I speak to them, I would remind them, and I would make quote of this. I would tell them that the Brave presidency is open to conversations. Honestly, if they would like to do that, I know they can reach out to him easily. But in what capacity? How do you think Brave and AKO will work together that would benefit AKO? What do you think can happen? Are they going to be like, Brave and AKO present this? Or what would happen?
So basically, Brave want to organize their own events, right? So is it a fight night? Is it a pay-per-view? Whatever, right? So AKU have the fighters here, and then they have the fighters they can recommend to Brave for that particular event. It's a Nigerian event, right? So take for example, you have a fight card where you have 10 fighters, right? AKU could bring 5 fighters from the roster, and Brave brings 5 fighters from other places in the world, right? And then they sign a deal. Brave brings in the money, right? AKO handles the logistics, right? You bring in people like yourself, right, to handle the logistics. People, our brother that handled the commentary, Young Jollof, right? Um, Brave CF don't have all of these people in Nigeria, right? We need super sports to cover the events, right? So all of those, logistics, all of those, operational matters,
Uh,
AKO
well,
able to
not so.
keep
I
them.
think Brave's production is sort of like in-house. They already have like the voice of Brave, the ring announcer, which did a terrific job yesterday. He almost lost his voice announcing those guys. They already have their commentary team.
Martinez.
They already
Okay,
have their broadcast
even,
people.
even with their production team, right? In
Hmm.
Nigeria, do you know in order to organize an event in Nigeria, you need to get a license from the government.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
They can get that. But like, I understand. For example, to pull the crowd, right?
Yeah,
Because
like
what AKO tries to do, like for example, we've got this boxing thing with Go TV going on in Lagos, and I don't know how to say this nicely. The boxing event, when the camera
that goes
shows the
to
fans, when the camera shows the fans, you kind of wonder, like, because as a Nigerian, when I see the type of people there, I kind of wonder, like, did they actually pay tickets to get in here? Because it kind of looks like they were there for free.
they were
So,
selected, like go to the street, like give what's up, I did everything today,
yeah, it's sort of like one of those things. Ah, Mokuna come, would they share Sprite for inside here? So, 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 but then if you look at an AKO crowd, when AKO are doing events, when you see the crowd shots, you be like, oh, okay, so these guys actually came to see fights. You understand? They're well dressed and all that. So maybe that might be something they would be able to help out with, because AKO are kind of like their last event, they had like 1,000 people there, which is a very big number. And they said that in their next event they are going to have over 1,000 people, and they are trying to like break the record of like West Africa per se of the
Interesting.
most attended paid viewers. You understand? Paid attendance, most people. And I understand it doesn't sound like a big deal to say like I have 1,500 people here as the most attended paid attendance in MMA history in West Africa, but it is quite a big deal. And
How
I
about
think
the
they would
venue?
be able. They are going to do it in the Abuja Continental Hotel. But you know AQ, they know how to like arrange the seats properly, build an arena type of structure. So that's what they are trying to do. They are going to open it up to like 1,500 people. So I think in that capacity, they can actually help Brave to be like, okay, put seats. How many bots do you want in the seats? We can bring the nyash there. Um,
Yeah, it would
Yeah,
be really
Jesse says, I believe a tournament similar to how AKO series was, or a Grand Prix with the winner getting a contract. Yeah, yeah, they already did something similar to what AKO did. AKO, their reality show, they already did. Maybe you already heard that, Jesse. Yeah, that could be another collaboration again. But I would like to see a Brave broadcast in Nigeria, because that would be a game changer for Nigerian promotions when they see that. Not to
like
take anything from AKO. AKO are doing a fantastic job, by the way. Best production in West Africa. But like, if Brave come and puts that standards of production, right, you understand, and Nigerians see it, I think in the long run it's going to help someone like an organization like AKO. Because if someone sees a casual fight fan sees Brave in Nigeria and they attend it or they see it on TV, when next AKO advertises a show, there'll be the expectation is, oh, okay, I can
I
actually
think
go there and have fun and not get mocked by the touts there, or I know the type of audience I'm going to mingle with when I get there, maybe celebrities in the cage side, something like that. So yeah. All right, guys. I think we have spoken enough. I tried to drag this, but I forgot to do something. I forgot to involve Bruce Buffer here today, but till the end of the show. So Bruce Buffer, can you please come in here?
It's time!
Yes, thank you. Oh, thank you, Bruce Buffer. That's enough.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
enough. You talk too much.
It's
that's an extra.
You talk too much. All right. Before we go, Jesse has a fantastic idea. AKO versus Brave, maybe. Ha! Yes, but I think Brave will smoke AKO.
It's be like PFL versus Bellator.
Yeah, I think Brave will smoke AKO because Brave global promotion here, they've got like Dagestanis in there. If they just stack that card with Dagestanis, Africa or AKO will not get a single victory there.
Never, never, never say never. But at least a 4-1 result will still be fair, just like what happened with PFL and Bellator. Like
Yeah, fair.
even at that global level, PFL Bellator was lopsided.
All right, guys. Thank you again. Please, 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 hit the like button. Thank you very much. I'm not asking too much. Just hit the like button, and we have to run.
Are you running?
Come on. We have to run. We have to run. Sorry for asking. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please, thank you very much. I am Jibril. That is King Dems from the King Dems podcast. Show some love to him. Thank you for sticking with us. Appreciate it. Love, hugs, and kisses. Goodbye.